My boyfriend came home smelling like a perfume I didn't wear. When I asked, he laughed, "You're being paranoid." Later, he passed out, and his phone lit up. "I can't stop thinking about last night." Heart racing, I texted back pretending to be him. When she replied with a picture, I knew exactly where to find her. The next day, I walked into the cafe where she worked and ordered a coffee. With a side of cold revenge. I'd been with my boyfriend, Alex, for about 3 years. We lived together in a small but nice apartment in Chicago, near Logan Square. We met in college. It wasn't love at first sight or any of that movie crap, but we clicked. He was charming, funny, had this quiet confidence about him. And for a while, things were solid. We both have demanding jobs. I work in HR and he's in advertising, so late nights were pretty normal for both of us. I never really questioned it before. I trusted him. Or maybe I just didn't want to believe he could be that guy. Then it started with the perfume. One night, Alex came home around 10:30 p.m. He said he had a late meeting and drinks with some coworkers afterward. Fine, no big deal. But when he leaned in to kiss me, I smelled something I didn't recognize. It was perfume. Not just any perfume, it was strong, floral, expensive smelling. Definitely not something I wear. I pulled back and said, "You smell weird." "Like perfume." He laughed. Actually laughed. Like I just told a bad joke. "What?" "No, it's probably someone at work or on the train." "You're being paranoid." Paranoid. That word stuck with me. I didn't argue right then. I told myself, maybe he's right. Maybe I am being paranoid. But my gut said otherwise. Over the next week, I noticed little changes. He started taking his phone with him to the bathroom. Not just sometimes, every time. He started showering the second he got home. He stopped leaving his phone lying around. He turned off previews on his lock screen. The way he touched me felt different. Distant. Still, I told myself to calm down. I didn't want to be that insecure, suspicious girlfriend. Then it happened. It was a Friday. I made us dinner. He came home late again, almost midnight. I was pissed, but he looked exhausted. He barely touched his food, mumbled something about a rough day, then collapsed on the couch and passed out. I sat there for a while, staring at him, feeling completely disconnected. Then his phone buzzed. I swear I wasn't looking for anything. But the screen lit up and I saw it. I can't stop thinking about last night. No name. Just the message. My whole body went cold. I picked up his phone. My hands were shaking. I unlocked it. He never changed his passcode. It was muscle memory at that point. The message was from someone named Samantha. I didn't know a Samantha. I stared at the message for a while. Then, I did something I never thought I'd do. I replied, pretending to be him. Me neither. Seconds later, she sent a reply. A photo. Her face. Smiling. In a cafe. I knew it instantly. It was this cute place called Bean there in Lincoln Park. I'd gone there with coworkers plenty of times. The background, the table by the window, the green-tiled wall, I knew exactly where it was. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, staring at Alex, trying to remember every moment I ever doubted, every time he told me I was too emotional or reading into things. I wasn't paranoid. I was right. I didn't confront him that night. I needed more. Needed to see it for myself. The next morning, I got dressed, grabbed my bag, and went to Bean there. I walked in around 10:30. It was busy. I ordered a coffee and sat at the bar along the window, watching the counter. Then I saw her. She came out from the back with a tray of mugs. Long dark hair. Soft features. Cute smile. Same girl from the picture. She was working. My stomach flipped. I thought about leaving. But I didn't. I stood up and walked to the counter. She turned and looked at me. Her face froze. I saw the recognition instantly. Her hand even jerked a little, like she was startled. I kept my voice even. Hi. Can I get a cappuccino? She nodded, then opened her mouth like she wanted to say something but didn't. She went back to the machine, made the drink, brought it over. I didn't take it. Instead, I said, "How long have you been seeing Alex?" Her face turned pale. She whispered, "Oh my God." She looked around, panicked. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I swear to you. I just looked at her. Didn't say a word. She pulled me aside. Please. Let me explain. He told me he was single. We met at a bar about a month ago. I had no idea he was in a relationship. I didn't know what to believe. You've been sleeping with him? I asked. She nodded, slowly. Only twice. The last time was, a few days ago. She said she ended it when she found out. She looked genuinely upset. I left without my coffee. I walked all the way home, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I was too angry. That night, I didn't mention anything. I acted normal. I wanted him to say something, anything. He didn't. He just kissed me on the forehead and said, "I'm gonna shower, okay?" I nodded. That's where I'll stop for now. I know I need to confront him. I know it's coming. I've already started packing some of my things. I don't know what the next few days will look like, but I know one thing, I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. And he has no idea what's coming. Alright, here's the update. Things didn't go the way I thought they would. Actually, they went worse. Way worse. After I came back from the cafe that morning, I couldn't stop thinking. I wasn't even angry anymore, I was just numb. You ever feel so hurt that it just turns off everything inside? That's where I was. I was still pretending nothing was wrong. I needed time to think. I wanted to be smart about this. I didn't want to scream and throw things, I wanted him to feel it. Feel the weight of what he did. So I kept quiet. For 2 days. I went to work. I smiled at coworkers. I cooked dinner. I kissed him goodnight. And the whole time I was watching him. But then, Tuesday night, I broke. He was in bed, watching some Netflix show, laughing like everything was fine. And I just snapped. I walked into the bedroom, stood by the door, and said, "So when were you going to tell me about Samantha?" His face went blank. Just, dead silence. He didn't even pretend he didn't hear me. Then he sat up, slowly, like buying himself time. "What are you talking about?" he said. I didn't answer. I just pulled out my phone, opened his messages, and shoved it in his face. "You left your phone unlocked while you were passed out." I saw everything. I texted her back. She sent me a picture. At her job. You really couldn't even cheat smart, could you? He stared at the screen, jaw tight. Then he finally spoke. "You went through my phone? Seriously?" That was his first response. Not sorry. Not let me explain. No. Just flipped it back on me. "You cheated on me and you're mad I found out?" I asked. Then the gaslighting began. It wasn't like that. I didn't mean for it to happen. It was just what? A mistake. So I asked the real question. How many others? He looked away. That told me everything. And then, he said it. The line I will never forget. "You're seriously going to believe her over me? Some random girl who wants to ruin us?" I laughed. I couldn't help it. She didn't reach out to me. I went to her job. I saw her face. She looked me in the eyes and apologized for sleeping with my boyfriend. That's not something you fake. Then he got angry. Not yelling angry, but cold. Distant. Like he flipped a switch. I guess if you've already decided I'm a liar, there's no point talking. And he got up. Walked out. Went for a walk. No apology. No regret. I didn't chase him. I just sat on the floor and stared at the carpet until 3 a.m. The next day, I went to work like usual. I felt like a zombie. Halfway through the day, I get a DM on Instagram. From a girl named Rachel. The message? Hey, I don't know you, but I think we're dating the same guy. My hands went ice cold. I clicked on her profile, public. A lot of photos of her and Alex. Dates. Trips. Him holding her waist. Her kissing his cheek. Some of these photos were recent. I replied immediately. What's his name? She said, Alex. Works in advertising. Lives in Logan Square. I felt like the ground opened under me. I asked her how long they've been together. She said, almost a year. A year. I told her who I was. She was quiet for a while. Then she called me. We talked for an hour. She told me she met him through a mutual friend. He said he was single. He'd never let her come to his apartment, always met at her place. Always had some excuse. She believed him. Just like I did. She cried. I cried. It was a mess. She asked me what I was going to do. I told her I didn't know yet. But I did ask her one thing, if she would help me confront him, together. She said yes. We picked a time. A place. I'll post what happened next soon. It's intense. But let me just say this, he thought he could juggle lies forever. He had no idea we were about to flip his entire world upside down. All right. Deep breath. So, when I last left off, Rachel and I had just discovered we were both dating the same guy, Alex. She for almost a year. Me, for 3. We made a plan to confront him together. That confrontation? That's not even the twist I'm here to tell you about. Let's back up a second. After Rachel and I spoke, I couldn't stop thinking, if he had 2 of us, how many more were there? So, while Rachel was gathering screenshots and I was going through my own messages, I started digging. I remembered this one weekend, about 6 months ago, when Alex claimed he had to fly to New York for a client pitch. It was a last-minute urgent thing. I remember because he made a huge deal out of how stressful it was. Said the client was a nightmare. But something Rachel said triggered a memory. She told me that weekend he didn't answer texts because he said he was with family in Michigan. Michigan. Not New York. I went into my email and searched his name along with the airline we always used. Nothing. No ticket, no receipt, no confirmation of any flight that weekend. So I did something I hadn't done yet, I checked his location history on Google. He didn't even know it was turned on. Sloppy. Guess where he was that weekend? Indianapolis. Not New York. Not Michigan. Indianapolis. And not at a hotel either, at a residential address. I Googled it. It was a cute little townhome on a quiet street. A real house. Not some Airbnb. Now, I had questions. Too many. I needed answers before we confronted him. So I reached out to a friend I hadn't talked to in a while. We'll call him Drew. He's an IT guy, a little nosy, and very into tracking tech stuff. We used to joke he could find anyone online if given a name and zip code. I gave him the address. No context. Just asked, can you tell me who lives here? He got back to me in less than an hour. The name that popped up? Melissa Hartman. That meant nothing to me at first. But Drew did some deeper digging. Found her Facebook. Public. No privacy settings at all. And right there, front and center, was a photo that made me stop breathing. It was Alex. Holding a toddler. A little girl. Caption said, Daddy-daughter Saturday morning's orange heart, and the post was from 3 months ago. I clicked through more of her photos. There were dozens of them. Him at the zoo with the kid. Him building a crib. Birthday cakes. Even Christmas photos. Full tree. Matching pajamas. A family. My heart stopped. It was like I'd stumbled into a second universe. He wasn't just cheating. He wasn't just lying. He had a whole other life. A child. A house. A family. I called Rachel. Told her everything. She cried again. I cried again. We were both beyond disgusted. We agreed this wasn't just about betrayal anymore. This was about exposing the truth. For us. For Melissa. For the child. So we changed our plan. Instead of meeting him at a neutral location, we were going to Melissa's house. Rachel would go to distract Alex. I would knock on the door. We gave ourselves 1 day to prepare. I printed screenshots. Rachel saved voice messages. We planned for every possible reaction. The next day, we drove together to Indianapolis. It was tense. Silent. We didn't even listen to music. Just sat in the car, staring out the windows, trying to keep it together. When we pulled up to the house, there was his car. Parked out front like nothing was wrong. Rachel texted him, "Hey, surprise. I'm in Indy for the day. Want to grab coffee?" He replied instantly, "Seriously? That's so random, lol. Yeah, I'm around." She went to a nearby cafe. He said he'd meet her in 20. That was my window. I walked up to the house and knocked. Melissa answered. She looked like she'd just woken up from a nap. She had the same little girl in her arms from the Facebook photos. I smiled, even though I felt like I might throw up. "Hi. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I need to talk to you about Alex." Her smile faded. The moment I said his name, her entire face changed. I could see it. Confusion, then dread. She let me in. I told her everything. Who I was. How long I'd been with him. That Rachel was his other girlfriend. That he told both of us we were the only one. And then I told her I knew about her. That I knew about the child. Melissa didn't yell. She didn't scream. She just sat down, held her daughter, and said, "I knew something was off. I just didn't want to believe it." She told me he's been living part-time there for over a year. Said he claimed he had to travel for work every other weekend. She thought it was normal. Never questioned it. Until recently, he'd started pulling away. Making excuses. Deadlines, client emergencies, networking dinners. And now, it all made sense. All of it. So that's where I'll stop for now. But just know this, Alex is about to walk into a cafe thinking he's meeting his side girlfriend. He doesn't know that 2 of his girlfriends just met the mother of his child. And none of us are staying quiet anymore. I don't think I'll ever forget what it felt like to walk into that cafe. My legs were shaking, but I felt oddly clear-headed. Focused. Like everything that had happened over the past few days had sharpened me. Melissa stayed home with her daughter. Rachel walked in first and sat at a table in the corner. I waited by the pastry counter with a cappuccino in hand, heart racing like I'd just sprinted 10 blocks. We weren't doing this in private. Not anymore. Alex walked in like it was just another normal day. Blue button-up, hair still slightly wet from a shower, phone in his hand. He didn't even glance around, he just spotted Rachel and smiled. That smile. He walked up to her table, leaned down to kiss her, and that's when I stepped in. "Hey Alex." He froze. Completely froze. Like someone had hit pause on a movie. His lips were inches from Rachel's cheek. He turned slowly. What the hell are you doing here?" I said nothing. Just held up my phone with the screenshots open. Rachel stood up beside me. And then, I swear, the entire cafe went silent. You could hear someone stirring sugar into a cup 5 tables over. Rachel said, loud and clear, "She knows about me. I know about her. And we both know about Melissa." His eyes widened like we'd said a magic word. He looked between us like he was trying to wake up from a nightmare. Then, his voice, quiet but shaking, "This is insane. You're both losing your minds." Classic. Rachel pulled out a photo she had printed, slamming it on the table. Him and her at a cabin trip. The same weekend he told me he was in Miami for work. I pulled out the baby photo from Melissa's Facebook. Him, holding his daughter, labeled "best daddy ever." Gasps from behind us. People were listening. The barista had stopped making drinks. One guy even took out his phone, don't blame him. It looked straight out of a drama series. Alex backed up, eyes darting to the door. "We're not doing this here." "Oh, we're absolutely doing this here," I said. "Because you don't get to build lies across 3 women and walk out like nothing happened." He ran his hand through his hair, agitated. "Okay, fine. You want the truth?" We stood there, silent. He said, "I didn't plan this. I didn't mean to fall in love with more than one person. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone." Rachel scoffed. "But you did. Over and over. You lied to me, you lied to her, and you lied to the mother of your child." That hit him. I saw it in his face. The guilt. Maybe it was real. Maybe not. Then he tried to shift it, turn it on us. "You don't know what it's like," he said. "Being with someone and feeling like you're not enough. I needed more. I needed something different from each of you." You could hear people whispering at nearby tables now. I honestly didn't care anymore. "Different?" I said. "So what was Melissa? Your family man fantasy? And Rachel, what, your casual weekend escape? And me? Just the one dumb enough to stick around the longest?" He didn't answer. He didn't have to. His silence said it all. And then Rachel, God, I'll never forget it, she stepped forward, looked him in the eye, and slapped him. Hard. Gasps everywhere. She turned on her heel and walked out. I followed, but not before I said one last thing. "Melissa knows. She'll be waiting when you get home. Good luck explaining that." We got in the car and drove. Silent. Tired. Drained. Rachel dropped me off and said, "I'm done. I never want to hear his name again." I nodded. Me too. But that wasn't the end of it. Melissa called me later that night. She said when Alex got home, he broke down crying. Told her everything. Said he felt trapped by his own lies. That he wanted to fix things. That he wanted to be a better father. She didn't scream. She didn't kick him out. But she did ask him to leave for a while. She told me, "I don't know if I'll ever trust him again. But I need time. And I need space. For me. And for my daughter." The reflection: it's been 3 weeks. Rachel blocked him. Melissa and I still talk sometimes. She's strong. She's focused on her daughter. Me? I moved out. Found a studio apartment near Old Town. Quiet. Small. Mine. There are nights I still hear his voice in my head. The lies. The laughs. The soft kisses that now feel like poison. I miss the version of him I thought was real. But I'm slowly accepting that version never existed. I'm angry. But I'm also free. And that's something. I wish I could tie this up in a neat bow, say I'm completely healed, completely over it. But I'm not. Not yet. But I'm getting there. And if you've ever been through something like this, just know, it wasn't your fault. You're not crazy. And one day, you'll breathe easier again. Final thought? He built a house of cards with 3 different decks. And when it all collapsed, the only thing left standing was us. Not together. But stronger.